All right, welcome back to the 3K. Well, honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. We have been trying to start this for like 4 different times. This is only our second episode. We are really trying to figure this out, and it is a mission. But we're just having fun with it. But we're back with the usual suspects. My name's Austin.
This is Scheme Ass Danny here.
Introduce myself. I'm heated at the end of the day. Daniel can't even hold his drink straight on the fucking table.
You know,
AJ keeps on turning off the damn thing. But, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just in the background.
So, no, because we had gotten here and we had wanted to charge. Like, we had set everything up. Like, we had this whole setup. We had set everything up. And then it just kind of fell to shit. The battery didn't charge. The camera wasn't corroborated. Danny dropped his whole fucking drink on the goddamn
but why do
table.
we got to keep exposing me, though? Like, come on.
Hey, why do you
now.
have the ski mask on? Let's go there.
Let's save that. No, let's save that for later, man. You know, we got this ski mask on. Right. We got to put more character into this episode, so that's why we got the ski mask on for now.
But the real reason why we're here is the Drake concert.
Yes, sir.
Something that we've had on our calendar for a very, very long time. And today we found out that Drake almost canceled it. Not Drake himself, but like I guess his entourage almost had canceled this.
Maybe the city too.
It was Kia Forum. I think it was part of the reason that they had a football game that night, and I think they thought it was gonna be like too packed. In my opinion,
I just think honestly, I don't know what you would attribute it to. I don't know how you can sit there and cancel a Drake concert. I don't know how you can sit there and honestly say, yeah, this is a good idea to cancel a Drake concert. I don't know what you would think that would be a good idea.
You can't. And like, I at least for me, if that concert would have got canceled, that would have just ruined my whole day.
Like, ruined your whole week.
We were talking about it. Me and Mantra have been to a Weeknd concert that was at SoFi.
I didn't go to the concert.
Yes. Yes, right. You were that.
Okay, well, talk about that Weeknd concert.
Okay, but we had me and then Isaac, who was our guest last week, last time podcast. We went to that Weeknd concert and we were hyped for it. We were planning this whole thing around it. We drove to LA. We had planned this whole thing around it, and he lost his damn voice within like the first couple minutes. Los Angeles. I'm sure y'all are well aware of. He had lost his whole voice doing this thing. And
wait, was that in Kia Forum too, or what was that?
That was in SoFi. And for y'all that don't know, SoFi and Kia Forum are on the same street, pretty much. Which I think
they're across the street from each other.
Hey, you should
fucking same street.
I think
like, just look across the street; it's right there.
I think that's part of the reason. I mean, because that's what Drake's thing was the entire night. That he was like, "Oh, they didn't want us to do this." Apparently, they had woken him up. The story is they had woken him up in the morning. He had woken up in his horse bed that he spent $300,000 on. And they woke him up and said, "Hey, we're just not gonna do the Kia Forum tonight. We're just not gonna do it."
Well, did he not like text? He said like 3 a.m. Did he not?
Or what? He said he woke up and he had a smoothie or whatever the fuck Drake eats.
He didn't say he had a smoothie.
I'm pretty sure he said.
Where'd you hear that smoothie from?
I mean, is Drake not jacked? Is he not eating a smoothie?
Is he not eating his protein or what?
Is he not getting his 6 a.m. workout in the morning before starting the show? I just don't think so. I just don't think that's how he's starting his damn day. And I think someone just came in and said, "Hey, we're not gonna do the Key and Form show. Good luck next night. Tomorrow night he's doing SoFi.
He's doing SoFi. So he's not doing like Kia Forum the rest of the whole weekend?
The Forum formed in the crypto Staples Center.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think because you know what? Taylor Swift can only sell out to SoFi. Taylor Swift is the only, and the Weeknd. I think honestly.
So you don't think Drake can sell out the SoFi?
No. Otherwise they would. Otherwise they would. And I'm wearing the Drake shirt. I'm wearing the Drake merch. That's insane. I just don't think unless it's T Swift or the Weeknd. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think that's ultimate dick riding right there.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna be real with you. I think that's ultimate dick riding right there.
AJ's a Swiftie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He was in the car singing the songs.
I would not be able to name you a Taylor Swift song, but you know, I'm there in spirit. You know what I'm saying? You don't have people lining outside the Forum to listen to the Drake. You have people lining outside the arena to listen to T Swift. But I'm just saying.
Even though AJ put up a video, people waiting outside for Drake.
Since 7 a.m. They were waiting outside. I saw TikToks. They were waiting outside since 7 a.m.
Glazing this shit, doing tricks on it. I'm just saying. Me personally, I'll pop up here. What time are you here? Like 5, 4? give me a little snacky snack. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but let's talk about what we liked and what we didn't like about the concert. Let's compare it to actually what was, in your opinion, what was your best concert before this?
I mean, honestly, I had seen the Drake. The Drake. Jesus
The
Christ.
DJ? He's all right.
I had seen Drake when he came to Coachella in 2015 when he had just released If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And honestly, that was a lackluster performance. There was a lot of greater performances that happened at Coachella around that time. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. I was a fan of Drake at the time. I really did enjoy it. But to be completely, I thought, honestly, the first and foremost, I really thought this concert, the show that he had put on was really fantastic, was a step above the show that he put from 2015. But I just don't think, and I'm being real with y'all here, I just don't think Drake is a performer like that.
Really?
I just don't. I mean, if you've been to a Weeknd concert, and I hate to do tricks on it, but if you've been to a Weeknd concert, if you've been to anybody that can put on a show that can just take the energy in a room, it's just a different vibe. And Drake, we all know his songs. We all cheering for him. I love all of his songs. Me and Mancho were fucking cheering the entire way. But you're talking about people that can take the energy out of a room. I just don't think Drake has that potential. Mancho can speak on this too. I mean, what did you think compared to what we saw at the Weeknd compared to the Drake? What did you think?
The Weeknd had about maybe 30,000 more people in there.
He sold out. Clarify. He sold out SoFi Arena back-to-back nights. Go ahead.
For me, I want a Weeknd twice in a row. I want that Saturday and Sunday, but they're better. I think they're better. Barely. Drake's amazing. He was amazing. I give it a 9 out of 10 out of the day.
Exactly.
Is he the best at the end of the day? My favorite concert is Post Malone.
Okay.
In Vegas.
We went to Rolling Loud Miami. We went to Day in Vegas. We've seen a lot of great. We saw
Kendrick. He's all right.
We went. I mean, honestly, to be real with you, there's some Kendrick fans in the room. Kendrick is just not a good performer. I mean, even since I seen him, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a Kendrick fan. I love Kendrick. I've been a Kendrick fan since 2013 when he performed at Coachella, and he brought Dr. Dre. He was like Dr. Dre, and even then, he wasn't that great a performer. So. I mean, Kendrick's not known for. There's some people that can perform, and there's some people that just can't do it.
I think that's crazy that you guys say that Weeknd's a better performer than Kendrick Lamar.
Any day of the week.
It's crazy, but his music is not for performing. In my opinion,
who?
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd's not.
Yeah.
I think
you have the Weeknd's music, and you're just kind of sitting there rocking.
Nah.
No, I'm going to be real with you, though. You have Kendrick Lamar's music and you have Drake music, and he has the music where you can just kind of, vibe to, but he also has the music where you can get hyped to. And The Weeknd just doesn't have that, in my opinion.
The Weeknd has a
But
bangers.
I feel
In
like,
my opinion.
I feel like with The Weeknd, it's more party music now, lately. But with Weeknd, it's it's either you want to mosh,
I don't
or
know
you
about
just want to be
Speaking of that, did y'all see The Idol?
Yeah, I watched that.
I did not watch that
You want to
shit.
talk about some hot dog shit? That shows some hot dog shit. But to get back on track, I don't know. I love the Drake's performance. I keep on saying the
Probably
Drake.
love the Idol too.
Hey, I thought it had potential.
No one thought that was potential.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think this Drake performance was the best performance I've ever seen, and that's
Debatable.
It's I've seen Ray Shremmerd, I've seen Kendrick Lamar, I've seen Post Malone, I've seen all these great artists, but this Drake performance, as soon as he hit the screen on the big stage, the whole crowd got loud. And but let's be real. I've never seen a crowd get that electric for one artist.
I mean, we haven't seen a Lady Gaga performance. I'm just being real with y'all. I'm telling you something.
Or Katy Perry. Imagine Katy Perry.
Okay.
That should be wild.
Our Corey Feldman, you know what I'm saying?
Or the Black Eyed Peas.
Our Fergalicious. We just haven't seen it yet. We just haven't.
Okay,
seen
yeah,
it.
but we haven't though. But that's what I'm saying. This Drake performance.
Okay. All jokes aside, I really do think this Drake performance was really great. I mean, if you have the opportunity to see it, and I know it's expensive. I mean, we bought our tickets way in advance, and we spent $500 on tickets.
Yeah.
And it was. It was a grip.
It was worth it at the end of the day.
I think it was
Definitely
think
was
it was a
worth
top
it,
three
but you have people,
performance.
and I think he mentioned this as well. Like, yeah, and this is like nothing new. He has mentioned this like multiple times during his shows, where it's like, oh, like I can't believe, and this is like very not verbatim, but he said like, oh, like y'all have jobs and you work 9 to 5s and y'all earn money, get a paycheck, and y'all spend your money on me,
I saw that.
which is like a very realistic fact. Like, we all have jobs, we all work, and we're all spending our money, and albeit a lot of money, to go see him perform for 2-3 hours. And I mean, for me, it was well worth the money. I thought it was a fantastic show. I really enjoyed the show. One of the better performances I've seen in a very, very long time. And to add little asterisks next to it, though, I mean, because like we just haven't had that many shows post-COVID. Post-COVID was 2 years ago. We haven't had that many. We've barely started having world tours again.
But I mean, like, let's be real. Like, what artists do you know that every single song they perform, you know, word by word? Like
You're right.
Drake,
Shaq.
every single Drake song that he performed,
DJ Diesel.
DJ Diesel.
like, but I'm trying to be real with y'all. Every single Drake song that he performed tonight, I don't know about y'all, but I was singing my lungs out
Word
to.
for word, word for
Word
word,
for word.
word for word. And that's not. And honestly, this is no discredit into how big of an artist Drake is. Drake is a mega star. But an interesting conversation to have is kind of like, where is the state of rap today? You have a lot of rap artists. You had Lil Baby, who canceled his tour because of declining ticket sales. You have a lot of rappers today who are canceling tours because of declining ticket sales. So in the face of, and we're kind of messing around, but in the face of Taylor Swift, who is selling out these mega stadiums on nights on nights on nights, Drake, who's selling out these stadiums nights on nights on nights, where does that leave the music industry as a whole, and more like kind of focused on where does that leave the rap industry as a whole? I mean, it's a really interesting conversation to have. And when we leave these big expectations, like what happened to the days when we used to go to LA and we used to see, like, I remember Gabe, one of our couple friends, he used to go to these small concerts, R.I.P. Lil Keed, but he used to go to see Lil Keed. He used to go see these up and coming rappers who were like a big like aura around them, and now it's kind of like you don't really have that. And maybe I'm just out of touch. Maybe that might be the case. But I feel like the music industry as a whole is just kind of this weird limbo where you're either on the very top of the top like Drake, or you're just on the very bottom of the bomb. You're just not selling out shows.
No, I think you're real about that. I mean, because I think the last, like, small concert I went to was, like, a Nav concert. But that was, like, maybe 2 years ago. And that was maybe, like, $30 for a ticket. And I enjoyed it. But I'm saying, like, I get what you're coming from. Like, it's either, like, you're Drake and you're selling out the whole arena, or you're a small rapper who's not really, you know, making that much money selling out this, like, arena, you know?
Maybe you can speak on this a little bit too much. I mean, because we've been to a lot of festivals. I mean, is a festival route the way to go? I mean, and instead of doing your own tour, maybe is it a better route to maybe just go on festivals? And the thing I heard recently too, just before you can speak on it, is that a lot of the time these festival promoters, when they sign these artists, like when they have like Lil Baby, when they have these big artists kind of perform these festivals, they tend to group a lot of these rappers together. So like you'll have like Lil Baby performing, and then you'll have a lot of like under rappers who are scheduled to perform at the festival, just as a grouping. Like, oh yeah, we can have Lil Baby perform for like $1,000, but pay us like $1,600, and we'll have a bunch of like up and coming rappers performing. So I mean, maybe you can speak on it because you've been to a lot of festivals as well. Like, maybe what do you think? Do you think as the tour is the way to go? Which J. Cole said, like, hey, if you're gonna be rapping tour, or is it maybe the festival route?
I think the festival route's the like best way to go. Just because like at the end of the day, there's 3 stages. You have 2 artists to pick through, and it's like when we went to Vegas, we either had like Kendrick, or we had who do we have? We had
I think it was
we wanted to watch.
Trippie Redd?
Not Trippie Redd. No,
the
no,
other
no.
fool they got booed off. Not booed, but
Kid Cudi?
No.
he got water bottles. How disrespectful!
Like a Emily Chopper, like that same like.
I'm forgetting his name. I don't know why I'm
I
forgetting.
don't know who you guys are trying to talk about right now.
The dude that we went to go see instead of like we went to go see.
We want to
like
go watch
Kendrick-
Polo G.
Oh, that's right.
We want to go watch
Polo
Polo
G.
G
Polo
instead of.
G.
I think it was Kendrick. And like,
which is kind of like which is kind of like the downside to like festivals though.
but then again, it's like if you want to be close, you got to be there early. But we wanted to see the most we could. At the end of the day.
Here, ponder this. Can you imagine Drake doing a festival now? Like
No.
Drake did Drake did Coachella in 2015.
But then I think it could be last second, because the Weeknd did
Yeah,
Coachella.
okay, but the Weeknd. Okay, that's a good. Well, okay, but we can't
The
like.
Weeknd performed his heart out
but,
right
but we
there.
can't like group in people like Coachella is one of the biggest music festival in the world.
but it doesn't matter how big that is. Like
If Drake
it's
did
like-
it,
You gotta have names like that. You gotta have names like Blink-182. You gotta have names like Drake. You gotta have names like you got to
if
have
Drake
it.
does it, he's
Like
gonna
The
be
Weeknd. You gotta have one.
Saturday, and like so everyone sees him.
Drake is performing at 3 p.m. on Friday if he goes to Coachella again. I'm sorry.
He's performing Saturday at 10.
I don't think Drake will ever do another Coachella, and I'm gonna be real with you.
don't
He's
think
just
so.
he's so
Too.
big that he doesn't have to be in a music festival again. He can just sell out his own arena. He doesn't have to do that.
A good conversation. I mean, obviously everything that has a start has an end. So like, when do you think Coachella might have an end? I mean, like, at what point do people stop attending? What point? Because I mean, you're starting to see like people. The reason why you have declining rap sales is because people don't want to spend their money. They don't want to spend $500 on a Drake ticket.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend $1,000 on a Drake ticket. They would rather spend $500 on a festival ticket and go see 15 different artists.
That's why you sneak in.
So is the new meta gonna be like festivals? Is the new meta gonna be? I mean, because we're coming at this stand ground where it's kind of like, okay, yeah, unless you're Drake, you're not selling out stadiums. What else are you gonna do?
I understand where you're coming from, but I think Coachella will never die, and that's just because it's hard to imagine, especially for these artists getting as big as Drake. You know, like Drake can easily sell out arenas, but these other artists that are just like still up and coming, you know, they'll gladly take that Coachella performance. Like, you know, it's hard to imagine Coachella ever ending because, you know, there's always going to be like another up and coming artist who would gladly take that opportunity to perform at Coachella, especially like such an iconic festival.
That's what they said about Woodstock. I don't know if y'all about know Woodstock. I think the idea of festivals is really interesting. For me, I think it's personally interesting. I mean, the spawn of Coachella was not even like, I'm not sure if you all seen the documentary, but if y'all know that much about, we grew up in Southern California. We grew up in the same city as Coachella. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea of Coachella that happened was a festival promoter that wanted to sell weed. And that wanted to sell weed. And so in order to sell weed, he made this concert. So like he got these people to come to this concert, and so he can sell his weed. That was literally the whole idea of Coachella. Literally,
he had like his own like patch.
He had
growing
a lot of money because obviously he was a drug dealer.
Okay.
And a lot of this might be like a little bit off, but
What kind of
from
drugs?
my memory, weed. It was straight weed. I mean, but weed and like, okay, but like now we look at weed as like, dude, they can go down to the street and buy weed. But I'm talking about weed like in the 90s where it was like, weed was almost as heroin. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you had
Like,
weed.
yo, you doing weed?
I
Like,
don't know.
Stay away from me, dog.
I don't know if y'all have seen Seventh Wonder? I think it's, it's like this old weird like Christian show, and they talk about weed on it, and it's like the most devastating. And it came out in the 90s. It's like the most devastating. If you know what you're talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it's 90s weed was like almost like as bad as we think is heroin today. Like if you found out your son was smoking weed in the 90s, it was just like. Yo,
Throw him away.
Throw him away. Send him to military school right now. Like it was that type of shit. Like it was that
Barbara,
crazy.
we gotta have another one.
But
This one failed.
So like selling weed was like the idea, the catalyst to this big and Coachella for like multiple years didn't make any money, and now it's the most grossing revenue service that you can have in a festival. Lollapalooza doesn't even touch it. EDC doesn't even touch it. Nowhere near these other festivals come close to it. But like I said, everything that starts has an end, and I firmly believe that one day this is gonna end and a new thing is gonna take forward. And
for sure.
And who knows what that is? I mean, because for a long time we had this idea of like going on tour, and that was how you made your money, and that was how you made your money as an artist. And now it's like festivals are kind of like how you get your up and coming and how you make money. Now it's like you have a hit song on TikTok. You don't even need to tour.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if y'all know, but I think his name is DFDV David or yeah. He's he's an up and coming artist that kind of got his foreground on TikTok, and he had a show recently in LA where a lot of big names were there. I mean, a lot of big like Pink Panthers was there, Kid Laroi was there. A lot of famous artists were there to see this kid, and I think that's kind of like the new age that we're in, where it's kind of like not so much more getting your foreground and touring. It's more kind of getting your foreground in this like social media platform.
Yeah.
This is all brand new to everybody. All brand new to everybody. I mean, when I was growing up, TikTok wasn't a thing, obviously. Twitter was barely becoming a thing. To see where it's become now, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's so easy to. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but
it's easier.
It's easier now.
It's definitely easier.
Especially for like TikTok. Like all you need is like one sound or like one like music to just pop off in TikTok to just become a trend, and that's all you need. And then it becomes catchy, and then that's the hit.
Okay, Exhibit A. Who opened up for Drake today? She was like, my pussy pink, my booty hole brown. Like, that's a TikTok sound.
That is
a TikTok sound.
Town.
And she was opening up for the biggest rap artist we've ever seen in our lives.
That's insane.
I mean, that's how much easier it is to perform. No discredit to her, though. She's a fantastic artist, and I'm sure she's fantastic in her own right. But go ahead, Daniel.
Let's get back to that Drake concert, though. I really thought. I saw an article saying that Yachty was supposed to be performing, like opening it. So I'm not saying that I was disappointed to see Big Sexy, but it's
I'm disappointed.
I was expecting Yachty. So
I was expecting
let me get your thoughts.
I mean, I was expecting that motherfucker to come out and put on a show. I mean, trust me. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm not sure anybody say it. I do not want to see Zach Bia for a minute. I don't care at all. I don't care about Zach Bia. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't understand the hype around Zach Bia. He's a DJ artist. I've shown a couple sets to Moncho actually. So I'm actually not gonna lie. There's a couple things I like about Zach, but that's not the performance he gave us at the Drake concert. It was more kind of just like performing songs, and I feel like there's just like that.
He was just hyping us up at the end of the day.
For Drake.
Exactly. It was just an unnecessary ad that didn't need to be there. I'd much rather see like an upcoming rapper. I'd much rather see Lil Yachty. I'd much rather see somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you guys feel about not seeing Yachty? I mean, for me, I was expecting Yachty.
I know Moncho's a little bit bigger fan of a Yachty than I am. How do you feel about it?
Then again, like any concert you go to, like if it's Music Fest or is it like, I want to blast him right before they had a DJ, and like he was hyping you up. He was playing Chief Keef, Rod Away, like.
But how do you feel about not seeing Yachty though? That's what I'm asking.
I saw earlier it was only a couple of shows.
Say whatever the fuck I want to say. I'm here for the controversy. We're having a very disheartening conversation. I'm breaking some marks. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we're going back and forth right now.
We're welcome it back, but because we had a little break, the camera overheated. But we're having an off com. We're having.
I was like, yo, like let's play it off. He's like, no, the camera overheated.
We're having a very serious conversation at a statement that I made earlier. Which I'll stand on the conversation I'm having. I mean,
you're blocking me.
Hey,
I'm over here laying sexy, and you're over here blocking.
They're mad because I think The Weeknd is a better performer than Drake.
That's insane though. Like half of the Weeknd song, you're just rocking.
Y'all gonna get eaten up in the comments. It's not even funny.
You're gonna get eaten up in the comments.
The Weeknd is a better performer than Drake. The Weeknd is. I just not like coming out my mouth. It doesn't even sound like a crazy
you just want to hear like Wicked Games and just be crying the whole time or what?
I mean, what if I want to do? I mean, the Drake performed what his first? I mean, y'all making me hate Drake, and I'm not even hating on Drake right now. But I'm just saying, like, he performed Marvin's Room, Shot for Me,
and those are 10 times better songs than any of the Weeknd's.
The Hills.
Those are 10 times better songs than
Wicked
any of the
Games.
Marvin's Room is better than any of those.
I don't know, man.
It is.
No. Okay, but
Marvin's
the
Room shot
okay,
for me.
Okay, but the Weeknd wrote half Marvin's Room. He wrote all of that album.
But Drake sang it.
All
That's all I'm saying. Drake sang it.
right, y'all gonna eat them in the con because I'm standing on everything I said.
Shot
Okay.
for me was,
And I love Drake. I'm wearing his fucking shit. Give me a break. I'm just telling you.
He's
I'm
just a dick rider over here,
I'm not
too.
even. I'm sorry. I'm screaming in the mic right now. I'm not even dick riding. I'm just being real. I'm being
I
real.
think you're dick riding.
I'm being.
I think you just don't want to be hated right now.
that fool wore those pants 2 days in a row.
All right,
Chill.
chill.
Okay, Isaac, Mancho, let's get what did you like and dislike about the concert that we saw today about Drake?
It wasn't the Weeknd. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That was a really good concert. I think the only thing was like he'd cut songs because one of my favorites, like my favorite song he performed was "Shot for Me," but he cut it short.
And can I?
Then he played Marvin's Room and he cut it short, and I was like, I was ready to sing my heart out.
But do you think that's like the way to go though? I mean, because like think of our
Well,
attention.
they have a time limit at the end of the day.
I mean, he
but
went over his time
Yeah,
limit,
they
too.
all go over it. Was he?
Hey, quiet down over there.
Yeah.
that reached our whole audio,
I'm
Alexis.
sorry, we
Just
got
so
a-
you know
we got
that.
a whole fucking-
I don't know if you guys heard that hiccup, but that was my
She's
girlfriend.
being rude. She's being rude. Continue, Mancho.
I mean,
made him lost his whole thought. The disrespect. We
But
just have no
let's-
decorum around here.
you guys are talking about like cutting off songs. I think the best transition for this concert or this performance was when he performed over, and then it went straight into headlines. That for me, that was like the peak for me because I love over and I love headlines, and that back to back was just
Over.
amazing.
I mean, listen. I know I'm talking a lot of shit, but I mean, I really believe this concert was really fantastic. One of the better
Do you,
concerts.
though?
For sure, I believe it. I think this is one of the better concerts that.
You've been just hating on it.
I know you just been
Cause
hating
y'all
on it
made
the
me
whole
hate
time.
on it. Y'all act like the Weeknd ain't a better performer than he is.
He's
though.
not,
He is.
bro.
Listen
He's
to me.
not,
Listen to the
bro.
words that come out of my. I think the Weeknd. I think Abel.
Cause Abel's just missing his ex the whole time, or what?
and the crazy part about it is his current girlfriend's in the stands. And
He's like,
imagine,
I miss you. I miss you.
imagine being his girlfriend and like listening to call out my name. I'd be like, why are you crying for real? Like, why are you putting that much emphasis?
He's like, Los Angeles, this means so
Los
much to me.
Call out my name. What do you need to call out your name for, bro? Like, I'm calling out your name.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, well, tell me what you liked and disliked about the Drake concert.
I mean, I'm honestly, it's hard to say anything I disliked about it. That's the issue. I loved everything about it. I think I enjoyed that. I'm part of that. I really enjoyed how he went back. You see a lot of artists who like to perform a lot of their new music when they release an album or when they like have an album out. I think he went backwards. He performed a lot of his classics, which I enjoyed. I feel like that's the way to go. I think people who are spending a lot of money to go to your concert, they want to hear the songs you're most known for. They don't. I mean, they love your new music. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of the new music that he played, like a lot of the stuff that came out of Her Loss, a lot of people were vibing with. A lot of people loved. But I mean, a lot of stuff he was playing off his old stuff was getting a lot more reactions.
It's just that old stuff that people fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that Take Care album was what people fell in love with Drake for.
But I mean, no guest special or no like guest appearance for Inglewood. I don't know. I just got. I mean, the same thing with. I think that's with any artist. I don't know. I think it must be hard to get like an artist to come out.
I mean, we were expecting a guest appearance. At least we were hoping for one because it was the first.
I mean,
one in
imagine being in Philly and you see Meek Mill.
That one was hard. That one was hard. But I'm saying, like, does Drake really need a guest appearance? I mean,
That's what we said about The Weeknd. I mean, the same thing we said about. Does The Weeknd really need anybody to come
I
out
was
with?
there waiting for Travis.
The Weeknd is
Come out
not
with The
on
Weeknd.
Drake's level.
Hey, but Drake did perform Meltdown, and that was hard. That was so hard. I mean, Drake.
he said, "T-top, T-top, T-top,
T-dot,
T-top."
T-dot. That was so hard. But I was ready for Travis. But apparently Travis, so I've heard, Travis is on vacation or something like that. So he's out
Wherever
there.
he is, I
Wherever he
mean,
is.
we heard from our sources.
Wait, hold
so-
on. Sources close to the source. Sources
Close-
close to the sources.
Close to 3 cases.
Closest
Closest-
source. What?
Hey, shut up. Shut
Sources
up.
close to 3 cases said that Travis was on
Our
vacation.
highest of the highest intel told us that he's on vacation. So
The highest of the highest.
If it's not true, we'll probably have to fire her, but we don't know.
Yeah, probably.
She'd be coughing out of nowhere.
She'd be hiccuping out of nowhere.
It'd be mad disrespectful now, like, not
Yeah.
I'm recording it. But
I think the only thing I disliked about the concert was that the men's bathroom was like outside.
yeah, I forgot about that.
It was like 3 miles. I'm not gonna say 3 miles.
3
but
I'm not sure.
it's far. That's
I'm
far.
not sure if this is like a forum thing or if it's like maybe it is a forum thing.
I think it is a forum thing.
There's no men's restroom inside of the forum. Like, what sense? I mean, and the craziest thing part about too is the forum used to be home of the Lakers, and especially back in the '80s, the only people that were watching the Lakers in the '80s were men. So
Yeah.
the idea that there's no men's restroom inside of the forum is beyond me, and I'm calling bullshit on it. Whoever planned that out.
You know what's crazy about it too, though? I think I took my girlfriend to the restroom one time, and one of the security guards was like, "All the guys are going in there anyways." Like in the inside restroom, she's like, "You might as well just go in there." And then as soon as I like went down in there, all the girls were giving me that stank look, like, "Why the fuck are you in here?"
Yeah, I identify as a female. For you,
You know,
to say
exactly.
something different.
Like, who are you to look at me and say I am not a female?
You should have just wore a ski mask down there.
Honestly. I mean, but all in all, it was a really fun time. It was a really good
Yeah,
concert. We had been
for
looking
sure.
forward to this for a very, very long time, and I can't remember the last time I had that much fun. And like honestly,
Exactly.
just
That's the
especially
Weeknd concert.
I mean, hey, we all sat away from each other and we like
but we equally had a good
we
time.
equally had a great time. And I'm gonna say for me, that concert was a 10 out of 10 for me. So
A 9 out of 10 considering that he's living in the same time as Abel. So I mean, I'm sorry.
stop, bro.
Would have been a 10 out of 10 if I was sitting next to Daniel. But it was,
Yeah,
I put a
for
9.
sure.
This dude did tricks on it for fun, but I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say it was a 10 out of 10. That concert was
It
so
was really good.
enjoyable
If
for
you have
me.
the opportunity, like if you take anything away from it, if you have the opportunity to go see Drake in concert, please. And another thing is that like, especially growing up in this time, like you're never gonna really see these artists ever again. Like Drake's gonna grow old just how we're growing old. Drake's not gonna be a thing in 20 years and 30 years. I'm sorry. Like just how like kind of Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg were a thing in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Here we are, fast forward 20 years later, like old heads are listening to that. And same thing with Drake. I'm gonna when we're 40 years old, 50 years old, no one's gonna be listening to Drake. I'm sorry. And whatever music's gonna be dominating, that's gonna be the music dominating. But if you have a chance to go see the artist that you enjoy, that you like seeing, that brings you happiness, by all means, please take this opportunity because you only live once. And if
Yep.
you ever take anything from what we talked about on this podcast, is that you only live once.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of this podcast was kind of like you only live once, and we want to make the most out of it. We have a lot to say. We have a lot of opinions on things. We think we're somewhat funny. May seem that we're just annoying.
Hopefully you guys think we're funny.
but that's kind of the whole idea. You only live once, and
Yeah.
and the famous words of Drake's YOLO.
Yellow.
So you only live once. so,
So-
if you have the opportunity, if you have the spare cash, if you have the opportunity to go see Drake and buy some tickets, I really think it's worth your time. It was a fantastic time. Even if you have to fly out here, if you have to drive out here, if you have to drive, we drove 2 hours. If you have to drive 3 hours, 4 hours, any way you can get to have a good time, please. It's worth it. It's really worth it. And whether that's for the weekend, whether that's for Taylor Swift, whether that's for Morgan Wallen, some of our friends like Morgan Wallen, even if it's for, for anything. I mean, really anything. If you get enjoyment out of it, do it, because one day we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be old. We're gonna be all wrinkly, and we're gonna be coming to the end of our lifetime, and we're gonna look back on these memories, and we're gonna be. Yeah, remember that one time we went to the Drake concert? And
Remember that
I
one time
wish
we went to the Clippers game?
I wish I went to the Taylor Swift concert.
Taylor Swift.
But I think that's the sense why we started this podcast, because I mean, we've been thinking about this for a while, and I mean, we're only 23 once, so I think that's exactly why we started this
23.
podcast, is because
Moncho's 18, and we're gonna.
he's actually
still
17.
dog him.
So
He's
That's
actually
Daniel.
17.
That's Daniel.
He's 17, and
come on, bro, we don't need to bring this up, but I'm just saying,
No, let's
do
talk about that.
do
I'm gonna
what
get
you
close.
do what you want to do, man.
Let's ask about why
Ski
Daniel
mask. I
has a
think
ski
we're
mask on
good.
Ski mask
today.
Danny on this.
I
man.
think this is the good point to
Yeah,
end
this is
the
the best part.
end the conversation.
Because regardless,
was,
at the end of the day, I got the Band-Aid on, so
It's like we just unlocked the character.
It was honestly we did, because we're gonna come out with t-shirts and Daniel's gonna have a fucking ski mask on his head. So
Maybe a Band-Aid too.
Maybe a Band-Aid
on the
too.
back.
I think just the ski mask Danny. We'll
Mask
release
Danny.
some merch if y'all want to buy
Danny
it.
Phantom. Actually, we can't say Danny. That's copyrighted.
That is copyrighted.
Just call him Danny. Danny with the ski mask.
Danny with the ski mask.
Danny skis, baby.
Danny skis. That's actually a good one. That's a good one.
But I think this is a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think
We're not gonna remove it.
No, we're not gonna remove it. I think we're gonna stay with the ski mask
You know,
Danny.
you ever seen that episode of SpongeBob where that king or Neptune? What is this? Hey, that fool that takes off his helmet, his crown. He's like, no, my eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the
King.
That's kind of what it
Daniel has
is.
a fucking skyscraper on the side of his head like that big. I'm
Oh,
like-
come on, bro. We gotta expose me like that, man. I mean,
But it was all fun and games. Nothing happened. He's
Looks
okay.
like an
he's
8-ball on his head.
he's
We're
recovering.
about to cut up.
He's recovering.
yeah,
he's
y'all
doing
cold,
he's
man.
doing a lot better. But I mean, I had a good time. I'm sure y'all had a great time.
I had a great time, man. I think this is a good part to wrap
it up. But
the podcast on.
we'll see y'all next time in the next episode. We don't know when the next episode. Like I said, we're figuring this out just as y'all are watching us figure this out. So we appreciate the patience. I know the audio on the last one kind of sucked a little bit. We hope that the audio is a little bit better on this one because we did. I know I'm screaming, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just get really excited. Y'all give me a hard on.
We're just passionate about this, you know. Just
Like,
just know that we're passionate about
I've
this.
had an erection for the past 30 minutes because that's how great.
I had an erection for the past 2 days.
But for real, y'all, like we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
we love all the love. Even if we get 1 view, if we get 100 views, if we get 1,000 views, every view is fantastic. We appreciate the love. We appreciate
For
you guys
sure.
taking the time out of your day to watch us. So.
To watch 3 cases.
Exactly. But to end it off,
Can I sing
like I
us
said,
out?
Sing us out much.
Sing us out.
I can see it. Kidding.
I can see
I was
in
hyped
your
for that.
eyes, you're angry.
Look red.
See it on what you feeling now.
All right,
Mad.
baby. We love you, dog.